Young, and the Restless Spoilers Wednesday update, the 26th of August, 2026. Welcome back to our channel. Today is a beautiful day, and we have so much drama to unpack because the chaos in Genoa City is absolutely overflowing right now. Grab a huge cup of coffee and let us just dive right into the madness. So, Lily is just at her wits' end right now, and honestly, I do not blame her one bit. She is watching Billy try to hijack Chancellor Industries, and she is not about to just roll over and play dead. Lily is a fighter, and she has always been a fighter. She built Chancellor Winters into a massive legacy, and she is not going to let Billy just waltz in and steal it because of some ancient loan agreement. Billy is so convinced that this Jabot takeover of Chancellor is going to be a smooth ride. He found this old deal that John Abbott made with Philip Chancellor decades ago, and suddenly he thinks he holds all the cards. It is just so typical, Billy. He always thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, and he is completely underestimating the fight that Lily has in her. Lily is rallying her troops, and she is getting ready for a massive corporate war. She wants Nate on her side because she knows Nate has that ruthless corporate instinct. But what she really needs right now is Jack. And that is exactly why Lily is practically begging Jack to intervene. She went to Jack because she knows he is the only person on this entire planet who might have even a sliver of a chance of reining Billy in before he completely destroys everything. Lily is desperate. She is standing there pleading with Jack to stop his brother from hijacking Chancellor. But Jack is in such a tough spot. He is hesitating, and it is so frustrating to watch. But I also kind of get it. Jack is terrified of losing Billy. Every time Jack tries to control Billy or tell him what to do, Billy throws a massive tantrum and pushes Jack away. Jack just got back from being kidnapped and traumatized, and he just wants some peace in his family, but Billy is dragging them all into this messy corporate warfare. Lily is offering Jack a way out. She wants to pay back the loan with interest and just wipe the slate clean, but Jack is dragging his feet because he knows Billy will see it as a massive betrayal. But let's be real here. Jack needs to step up. He is the patriarch of the Abbott family, and he needs to act like it. Lily is laying it all out on the line. She is telling Jack that Billy is out of control and that this is going to end in disaster for everyone involved. And she is right. Victor is already watching this whole thing unfold, and Victor is just waiting for the perfect moment to strike and humiliate Billy. If Jack does not listen to Lily and stop Billy now, the Abbott family is going to face the full wrath of Victor Newman. I just do not understand why Jack is being so weak right now. Okay, maybe weak is a harsh word, but he is definitely being a coward when it comes to dealing with his brother. He needs to look Billy in the eye and tell him no, but instead he is just wringing his hands and letting Lily do all the heavy lifting. Lily deserves better than this. She is fighting for Catherine Chancellor's legacy, and she is fighting for her own hard work. So while all of this Chancellor and Jabot drama is happening, we also have to talk about Kyle, because Kyle is just making everything 10 times worse. Diane is watching Kyle right now, and she is absolutely terrified that he is about to do something incredibly stupid. And let us be honest, Kyle is definitely going to do something stupid. Kyle is currently obsessed with this whole power grab. He sees Billy making moves, and suddenly Kyle thinks he needs to make moves too. He is obsessed with Billy's stance on Jabot and Chancellor, and Kyle actually thinks he can outsmart everyone. He thinks he is some sort of corporate mastermind who is going to be the last man standing when the dust settles. It is almost laughable how delusional Kyle is being right now. He is trauma bonding with Victoria Newman, and he is crossing all these massive boundaries, and he just thinks he is untouchable. And Diane sees all of this. Diane knows her son. She knows that Kyle is completely incompetent when it comes to playing these high-stakes corporate games. He is acting exactly like his Uncle Billy. He is being arrogant and reckless, and he is painting a massive target on his own back. But Diane is in such a terrible position because she feels like she cannot just tell Kyle the truth. Diane has so much guilt weighing her down. She abandoned Kyle when he was a little boy. She faked her own death and let him mourn her for years. Because of that massive trauma she inflicted on him, Diane feels like she owes him her unconditional support, no matter how ridiculous his ideas are. She feels like she has to be his cheerleader, even when he is driving straight toward a cliff. It is a really toxic dynamic between them. So Diane is walking on eggshells around her own son. She knows she has to stop him from making this power grab, but she also knows that if she just comes out and tells him he is being an idiot, he will throw a massive tantrum. Kyle is just like Billy in that way. If you criticize them, they just lash out and double down on their bad decisions. Diane is trying to figure out how to manipulate Kyle into seeing his own foolishness without actually telling him he is a fool. She wants him to have this realization on his own so that he does not blow up at her. It is exhausting just watching her try to navigate this. I mean, I feel bad for Diane in a way, but she also created this monster by babying him so much since she came back from the dead. She needs to find a way to rein him in before he destroys his career and his place in the Abbott family. Because if Kyle tries to outsmart Victor Newman or even Billy Abbott right now, he is going to get crushed. But honestly, the most heartbreaking part of the show right now is what is going on with Nick and Victor. This storyline is just tearing me apart. So Nick is in rehab. He has hit absolute rock bottom. We all saw that horrifying fentanyl nightmare he had, and we saw him at that dingy motel doing drugs with Marie Kirkland. He was completely broken. But now he is back in a facility, and he is actually trying to put the pieces of his life back together. He is doing jigsaw puzzles, and he is trying to get his mind right. And Nikki is just beside herself with worry. Nikki is a mother who is terrified that her son is going to die from this addiction. She knows how hard recovery is because she has battled alcoholism and MS, and she knows that Nick needs a strong support system. So Nikki does something completely desperate, but also incredibly smart. She goes to Jack Abbott. She asks Jack if he would consider being Nick's sponsor. And honestly, this is a brilliant idea. Jack knows addiction. Jack has battled his own demons with pills in the past. Jack knows what it is like to hit rock bottom, and he knows how to climb back out. Jack is empathetic, and he is patient, and he is exactly the kind of sponsor that Nick needs right now. And Jack, being the good guy that he is, agrees to do it. But Jack puts one condition on it. He says he will only do it if Nick asks him directly, which is totally fair. Nick has to want the help. Nick has to take that step and ask for the sponsor himself. But then Victor finds out, and of course, Victor absolutely forbids it. Victor Newman steps in and says, absolutely not. No son of mine is going to be sponsored by Jack Abbott. And I just wanted to throw my remote at the television. What is wrong with Victor? His son is literally fighting for his life. Nick is battling a severe drug addiction that could kill him at any moment. And Victor is more concerned about his petty, decades-long hatred for Jack Abbott than he is about his own son's survival. It is so incredibly toxic and narcissistic. Victor cannot stand the idea of Jack Abbott swooping in and being the hero. Victor wants to control everything, and he wants to be the one who saves his family. But Victor does not understand addiction. Victor just sees addiction as a weakness. He tells Nick to just stop using like it is a switch you can just turn off. So now Nick is put in this impossible situation. Nick has to actually present his case to Victor. Nick has to stand there, broken and vulnerable, and plead with his father to let him have Jack as a sponsor. He has to beg Victor to put his recovery above his hatred for Jack. And it is just so painful to watch. Why should Nick have to beg for the medical and emotional support that he desperately needs? Victor is holding Nick's recovery hostage because of his own massive ego. Nick is trying to explain to Victor that Jack understands what he is going through. Nick is trying to make Victor see that this is not about the Newman versus Abbott rivalry. This is about life and death. But Victor is just so stubborn. He is standing there with his arms crossed, refusing to budge, and it makes you wonder what Nick is going to do next. Is Nick going to put himself first for once in his life? Is he going to defy Victor and just ask Jack to be his sponsor anyway? Or is Nick going to cave to Victor's demands and try to find a different sponsor just to keep the peace in the family? The choice should be so easy. Nick's life is on the line. He should just choose Jack and tell Victor to deal with it. But this is the Newman family. Nothing is ever easy. Victor demands absolute loyalty. And if Nick goes against him, Victor will see it as a massive betrayal. I just really hope that Nick finds the strength to stand up to Victor. Nick is at his most vulnerable point right now, and he needs someone who can actually guide him through the darkness. Jack is that person. Jack has the lived experience. Jack has the compassion. Victor just has judgment and anger. And it is so unfair that Nikki is caught in the middle of all of this too. Nikki went out on a limb to ask Jack for help because she knows it is the right thing to do. And now she has to watch her husband and her son fight over it. Nikki is trying so hard to keep her family from falling apart, but Victor is just making it impossible. And you know what? This all ties back into the bigger pattern of the show. Victor always has to be in control, whether it is a corporate takeover or his own children's personal lives. Victor cannot stand it when someone else has influence. He hates that Jack might be the one to save Nick, just like he hates that Billy is trying to take over Chancellor. Victor's ego is the driving force behind almost every conflict in Genoa City right now. He is plotting against Billy because he wants to protect Catherine's legacy, but really he just wants to crush an Abbott. And he is forbidding Nick from seeing Jack because he wants to crush an Abbott. It is always about winning for Victor. But when it comes to Nick's addiction, this is not a game. There are no winners if Nick relapses and dies. So we have Lily begging Jack to stop Billy. We have Diane terrified that Kyle is going to destroy himself, trying to outsmart everyone. And we have Nick begging Victor to let him save his own life. It is just a massive web of desperation right now. Everyone is pleading with someone else to do the right thing. Lily needs Jack to step up. Diane needs Kyle to wake up. And Nick needs Victor to back down. But knowing these characters, nobody is going to do the right thing until it is almost too late. I mean, think about Lily for a second. She is offering a completely reasonable solution. Pay back the old loan with interest. It makes perfect business sense. It honors John Abbott's original deal and it protects Chancellor. But Billy is too blinded by his own arrogance to accept it, and Jack is too scared of Billy's temper to force it. So Lily is just left out in the cold, having to prepare for a dirty corporate war that she never wanted. She is going to have to play dirty because Billy is leaving her no choice. And honestly, I am rooting for Lily. I hope she crushes Billy. Billy needs a massive reality check. He has been riding high and bragging to everyone at the GCAC, and he is completely ignoring Audra's warnings and Sally's panic. He thinks he is invincible, but Lily is going to show him that he is not. And then there is Kyle. Kyle is just a disaster waiting to happen. He is getting involved in this Jabot and Chancellor mess, and he has absolutely no idea what he is doing. He thinks because he is an abbot, he automatically has this brilliant business mind, but he doesn't. He is just riding on his family's coattails, and Diane knows it. Diane's internal monologue must just be screaming right now. She is watching her son make these arrogant moves, and she is just paralyzed by her own guilt. It is a fascinating psychological dilemma for Diane. How do you parent a grown man when you feel like you lost the right to parent him because you faked your death? She is trying to use soft manipulation to guide him, but Kyle is too dense to pick up on it. He is just charging forward, blind to the consequences. And finally, we come back to Nick. I just keep thinking about that scene where he has to plead with Victor. It is so degrading. Nick is a grown man. He is a father. He has been through hell and back, and he has to stand there and ask his daddy for permission to get the medical help he needs. It is gross. Victor is being gross. I know Victor loves his children in his own twisted way, but his love is so suffocating. He would rather Nick struggle with a sponsor who doesn't understand him than let Jack Abbott be the one to help. It is the ultimate proof that Victor's hatred for Jack is a sickness of its own. So what is going to happen next? I think Jack is going to eventually cave to Lily's pressure, but it is going to cause a massive rift between him and Billy. I think Kyle is going to make a spectacular mistake that Diane will have to clean up. And I think Nick is going to have to make a heartbreaking choice between his father's approval and his own survival. It is going to be a messy, emotional roller coaster, and I am honestly here for all of it. Even though it makes me want to pull my hair out sometimes, I just cannot look away. These characters are so flawed and so human, and that is why we keep watching. All right, you guys, I have rambled on for way too long today, but I just had to get all of these thoughts out. The drama is so thick, you could cut it with a knife. Let me know what you think is going to happen. Do you think Jack will actually stand up to Billy? Do you think Diane can stop Kyle before he ruins everything? And do you think Victor will ever put his ego aside for Nick? I highly doubt it, but we can always hope. Stay tuned, because Genoa City is about to explode.